Howdy, Kairos people. Just want to walk through what do we do today? Get some notes on there for you as fast and as efficiently as I can. So, look, first thing we did today was a review of yesterday, and here are the questions. I think that I posted them online, but if not, you can always just pause the video and take a look and answer these. We answered these in our notebooks, then I checked them. So just put them in your notebooks. We'll just do a check in class. All right, today's big thing is the inflammatory response. Now, your body has a bunch of what we call innate defenses, which are defenses that you have from the moment you're born. You have them your whole life. They always work the same way. They don't learn, they never change, but they're always useful, they're always effective, and they're always functional for you. Things like the physical barriers of your skin, and then you have chemicals in your eyes and saliva that protect you from infection, and you have acid in your stomach. And we have 3 different types of chemical responses. There's what we call the inflammatory response, which can activate a fever, which can activate something you've probably never even heard of before. It's called the complement system. We'll tackle that in a couple of days. You also, in your tissues and floating around in your bloodstream, have a set of generalized cells that will fight infections of any type. You have macrophages and neutrophils, dendritic cells, natural killer cells. These are all a part of your innate defense system. It doesn't really learn anything different. It always works the same way, but it's always there to protect you. Today's big thing was to focus on the very, very beginnings of the inflammatory response. How does inflammatory response get started? And before we talk about that, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of the inflammatory response? Well, the purpose is to both get healing started and to get it happening fast, and to activate and attract your other body defenses. So inflammation, when skin gets red and swollen and hot, when it starts to hurt, when you touch it and it's painful, that is designed to get your healing started and to get it happening faster and to activate other defenses. So how does this play out? Well, we're going to go back to the story of the streptococcus infection of your hand. You scrape your skin, all right? In scraping your skin, you're going to remove this physical barrier, this first line of defense, the dead layer of protective cells, and you're going to probably get into some of those living cells and rip some of those off. And now, the streptococcus bacterium that's out there waiting for its moment, now it starts reproducing and multiplying down into this open area of your skin. After it's done that, it'll start releasing some exotoxins. So let's draw that in. These cells, they start releasing some exotoxins. All right, these are hemolysins, these are proteases, and they're going to start to make these cells of the lower part of the epidermis, they're going to start to pop and they're going to die. Some of the nearby cells that just start to get damaged, but they're not quite dead yet, they're going to release chemicals called histamines. And those histamines, there's a whole other chemicals, there's a whole bunch of other chemicals involved too. The one we need to know about and know the name of are called histamines. Those are going to be really helpful. Well, also in the lower levels of your skin, you have these cells hanging out in your dermis called mast cells. And when these exotoxins attach to these mast cells, they're also going to release histamines. All right, well, what do the histamines do? Well, if you ever had an allergy and your eyes start swelling up and get itchy, you'll take what are called antihistamines. Antihistamines stop inflammation. Well, histamines, their whole point is to cause or create inflammation. They're going to cause it to occur. Okay, well, how do they do that? So the way they do that is down here in the dermis, you have what are called capillaries. This is a capillary. There are red blood cells in there. We got these white blood cells in there. First thing that's going to happen is histamines come down and they attach to little receptors on the cells of the tunica intima. And what that's going to generate is this capillary is going to enlarge. It's going to expand itself. When the capillary expands itself, when it gets bigger, you're going to have an increase in blood flow. More blood going into the skin. Well, what color is blood? Well, it's red. So that's going to cause this tissue to become red. That's the first sign of inflammation. Second thing, blood is a higher temperature than the rest of your body. So as we get more and more blood in this tissue, the tissue is going to become hot to the touch. Third thing, when the histamines attach to these receptors on these cells of the tunica intima, it's going to make them shrink. We're going to, let's go this way. There we go. They're going to shrink, suck in your guts. And when these cells suck in their guts, when they shrink and narrow up, what appears? Well, gaps appear. Gaps appear. Are the neutrophils and monocytes big enough to get through the gaps? Well, no, they're a little bit too big. But your blood doesn't just have cells in it. Your blood also has a whole bunch of plasma, which is the liquid component of blood that's yellow in color. And the plasma can leak out of these gaps. Well, as the plasma leaks out, this area fills up with fluid, and that's going to cause swelling. All right, so real quick to summarize. Bacteria releases exotoxins, starts to kill cells. Some of them release histamines to try to protect you. The exotoxins also damage and stick to mast cells, who also release histamines. The histamines stick to receptors on the cells of the tunica intima, this one layer of the lining or the walls of the capillary. Makes the capillary expand, which makes the tissue red and hot. And it also causes these cells to shrink in size, generating gaps. Plasma leaks out, fills the area up with fluid, and causes swelling. There's one cardinal sign left, and that's going to be pain. In the dermis, in this lower level of your skin, you have what are called pain receptors. And what the pain receptors hook up to are specialized areas of the brain that are designed to detect pain. And these histamines activate these pain receptors that send signals towards the brain and tell the brain, we're hurting ourselves here, and the area becomes painful. And so what we're looking at here are the 4 signs of inflammation, whose purpose is to provide nutrients, water, and heat to this area so that it can heal and heal faster. And it's also, what we'll see tomorrow is it's going to activate and recruit other defenses of the body. That's pretty much what we got through today. Hope you've all had a great day. Have fun on Kairos. Hope to see you soon.